Well, part of doing solar requires a little bit of preliminary analytical work. And Peoples Solar Incorporated, that's exactly the kind of things that we do. It's typically where a little bit more detail and planning have to occur. Installing a system's part of it, and that's the labor part of it with regard to the physical. But the planning is probably the most important aspect. If you have a good plan to put solar on your home or business, then you're going to have a great successful installation that's going to work for years to come. And that's where Peoples Solar comes into play. Here's an example of a residence that was done here about a month ago by Peoples. The Peoples Solar assisted the consumer in installing solar. The consumer installed the whole system themselves, and in fact, I think they had mentioned that we had told them it would take about 40 hours of their time, and they were able to accomplish it in 30 hours. And it turns out he installed a 7.5 kilowatt system, but I want to walk through the whole planning process. First off, we obtained a Google map of his location, and here it is. And you could see that the orientation of the home wasn't perfect, wasn't ideal with regard to a south-facing roof. He did have a pretty decent east facing, so I want to kind of walk through this whole process. And as you can see the inn here, there's our north direction. Okay, so our south is down here, and we recommended that the solar system be installed on this part of the roof line right here. After some technical analysis and spending some time calculating what his output would be at his orientation to the north-south, and also the roof slope, everything considered. And I'm going to talk a little bit about how Peoples Solar helps with that. So this is the picture out of the Google Maps. Here is a rough sketch thrown together with the help of myself and the consumer. Basically, some measurements were taken of skylights and different things, and we wanted to see what kind of spacing we had to work with on his home. So this is kind of a very rough sketch. Okay, the pitch of the roof was 23 degrees, and the roof type was shingle. That's important. So you could see how this kind of works. And photos were taken. If the consumer can't take the photos and folks are close enough, Peoples Solar can come out and do that. But we take photos, and we also have equipment to do a complete solar analysis, a shade analysis, to confirm results. And this particular consumer had all the shade analysis done so that he knew exactly where he was going to put his panels and what kind of obstacles were on his roof that he had to worry about. Now here's a technical drawing that Peoples Solar was able to put together. These light brown lines are your beams, your truss beams, which are important because your rack system has to attach to those. And they were 24-inch centers. And then also the measurements of the roof, and these are to scale solar panels. This was our initial suggestion, and then after a little bit more analysis, we came up with this final for submission to the county, the city, for plan approval. So here's the actual layout of the solar system for the consumer. As you can see, a service panel was way over here. Peoples Solar does all this design work as part of our package that we offer. We offer these services. So you have everything you need. By the time we're done, you'll have everything you need to go to the county and get your county or your city and get your permit to do your solar system. And then you can install all the part yourself, or you can hire a contractor with these diagrams and have the contractor install. I'm going to move over here a little bit. This right here is a report. And this report basically shows the expected solar output at this system under this orientation to the sun, to the south, and also it shows what his expected production levels are going to be. This particular consumer, the reason why a decision was made for 7.5 kilowatt, because he was trying to obtain a certain level of production, and with his home and with his orientation, and that was the appropriate amount of solar panels for what he wanted to do. But this report is, we have the capability. This report's about 15 or 18 pages long. I'm showing you one page with the results, but there are numerous pages. When we run all of our testing, we get all the information that we can from the consumer, and we do our solar analysis, and all that information is plugged in so that we're able to get a report together for you to show production. I wanted to show this diagram here. This diagram here is the computer generated measurements which are critical to the installer. Now, this is not critical for a permit, but for installing yourself, these light colored lines here are the rails that hold the panels, and these are our spacing and our dimensions. Like, for example, on this particular panel with 34 inches between rails, 15.5 and 15.5 top and spacing between the top of the rail and the end of the panel. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 panels in this array. So it also shows the trusses and the spacing from the top of the roof, and that's where his, that peak of that roof, you want some spacing to get through here. We made it 36 inches, and I believe this customer had some venting. You can see these vents at the top of the roof anyway. So 36 inches was perfect for this alignment. You can see he's got a roof lighting here that's sticking up. So we had to consider that. This is just one side. There's actually another whole side, which you see here, which has another diagram very similar to this that we provide to help the installer install the panels properly. So lines and knowing where trusses are and how many support feet or jack shafts you need, how much rail you need, all that information we're able to determine specifics, how many grounding lugs and weeb lugs, and depending on panels and tie downs and knockdowns and end caps and all those kind of things we can decide by using this technical information that comes from your help. And then also we get all this together and we get you exactly what you need to do your job and do your job well. Finally, to get a permit, this is probably the most important sheet, and this is a electrical drawing. So this particular drawing right here is roof A and roof B. We got 15 panels, and we have 13 panels, so a total of 28 panels. And we're going into a solar deck, and we show the wires. This particular cabling is supplied with the solar materials. It's called a trunk cable. These are in-phase inverters into a solar deck combiner, basically, with two 20 amp breakers, and those 20 amp breakers are just some extra protection. You can open this box up and turn them off so you can service them from the roof if necessary. And you can see that feeds down, in this case, a number 8 THN wire, single phase, so there's 3 wires coming down and to the AC disconnect, and then directly into our panel. Now, this AC disconnect is required by some utilities. PG&E does require it, so we recommend putting one in there. And then you also have a breaker inside your service panel that you can switch off the solar as well. So you got 2 disconnects and breakers here, plenty of protection in there. We show the Envoy connected, the communication device. This is critical, particularly if you have the ability or capability of getting a rebate. They require that you have monitoring. The monitoring costs For the equipment, you're looking at another $500 or $600. But the nice thing about having the monitoring is you can monitor your solar yourself online, and the monthly monitoring is free. It's just getting the equipment to do the monitoring. And this Envoy is the equipment for Enphase. So all of your electrical diagrams are done. Everything you need. We even approximate how many feet of wire, in this case number 8 wire, you need to purchase. The disconnect, what type of disconnect you want to use. We recommend a 60 amp, 600 volt VAC system. Square D makes excellent disconnects. And also you can use unfused. I've used both, unfused and unfused. I've seen consumers use both. So, but the point is your system is safe, it's fire safe. We also show grounding on the system in this particular diagram, which is what your city or county is going to want to see. So this diagram, along with this diagram, along with some other paperwork that we provide that gives you all the statistics and short circuit information of the system, all the safety aspects of the system, maximum voltages and so on and so forth. We provide all of that that help you get that permit, which once you go in and get that permit, it's just a matter of installing the system and then having your power provider commission the system, which they'll send someone out to turn it on or to tell you you can turn it on. All right, well, I hope this helps a little bit.